What's going on, YouTube family? Hope you guys have been good and are having a great week as usual. So I'm turning 30 this year in March, and for this week I wanted to make a video for my younger self and everyone else that might have gone through what I went through. I'm gonna be talking about what I learned in my 20s. 30 is a pretty big number. I don't feel it, but I'm definitely happy with where I am today in life. But it wasn't always like that. In my 20s, I was lost as hell. I think that's the period where most people are lost in life. That's around the time where most of us are done with school, graduated, and moving on to the next stage in life. For the first time in our lives, the system doesn't tell us what to do. It's not like this school and on to the next school and on to the next. It becomes which job I should go into, which industry suits me, and which company is best for my life progression. And I remember my biggest fear at the time was making the wrong choices and wasting my opportunities. I think there might be some of you that are going through that right now. My hope for this video is that it could give you the guidance I wish I had back then. I'm going to be condensing this into 5 things that really helped guide me on the right path through my 20s. I may not be able to give you all the answers you're looking for, but these 5 things definitely helped me stay on the right path to get to where I wanted to be and where I needed to be. In your 20s, most likely it's going to be the most sociable period of your life. Because of schools, clubs, part-time jobs, you'll have multiple friend circles around you. It isn't necessarily a good or bad thing if you do or don't. The one factor that dictates if it is a good or bad thing is the people and the energy that you keep around you. Having multiple friend groups, or even just that one good friend group that has good energy, motivation, and ambition is so important in your 20s. If you want to successfully move on to the next stage of your life, you want to really surround yourself with hungry people. People with a fake direction with what they want to do in life. Big dreams but practical dreams. These people are really inspiring, and good chances are you're going to be feeding off that energy too. You'll be inspired by them and maybe even end up developing your own dreams too. Treasure these friendships. I was super hungry in my 20s. I wanted to be successful, but I just didn't know which way to go. If you're lucky enough to have many pathways and options, you'll get confused and really intimidated to even take the first step. Having motivated and equally hungry people around you will make you brave. Having that support group of hungry individuals bringing positive energy facilitates a good team to have everyone build their empires together. Even if you're lost at the start, it doesn't matter. At least you'll be lost together and figure things out together. As long as you have that good energy with the people that you choose to surround yourself with. The second point is one of the most important pieces of advice I've ever gotten in my 20s. It is so underrated, but I cannot stress it enough. I caught on to this piece of advice when a friend recommended me some reading material. It said that you should pick someone with your best intentions in mind as a mentor in your 20s. Whether it's someone in the industry you want to enter, someone senior at your workplace, a teacher or professor you trust, or even someone unrelated to your career that you look up to just because you want to be like them. As I said before, in my early 20s, I was actually going through a really rough time. I was living alone in Melbourne, Australia, unemployed for months. This was probably around 2015. I was trying to enter the fashion industry or the marketing industry. After months of not even getting a call back, I applied for jobs that I was honestly way too overqualified for. Internships, unpaid internships, just desperately trying to get my foot through the door, but no one called back and it felt really lousy. Then I remembered that piece of advice of having a mentor, someone with seniority that you could look up to and that you could trust. I recently graduated from university at the time and actually had a favorite professor from one of my marketing courses. He was a really cool professor with amazing style named Sunil. Had this glorious beard, round hipster glasses, and came into class with a gentleman's umbrella. I did a presentation on Supreme and Off-White, and he knew the entire history of Supreme, which was super unusual at the time in Australia because streetwear wasn't that big there then. We were never super close, but I always remembered him because I felt like he understood streetwear and youth culture. Anyways, I wrote him an email kind of on a whim, just hoping he'd remember me, and honestly just asked him for some advice because I was just feeling so lost in life. He He wrote back within the day, telling me of course he remembered me and invited me for some coffee so we could chat better. We met the following week and straight geeked it about old school hip hop, fashion, street culture, Asian streetwear fashion, all of that. I found out he used to work in fashion before he became an educator, and he was heavy into old school hip hop just like me. It was the craziest thing. Then he got on to what was going on with me. In short, he said, fuck it, stop applying for these trash ass jobs. He looked me straight and kind of reminded me of how awesome and talented I was. I mean, I didn't even feel that about myself, but he shook me straight, told me not to be intimidated about my next stage in life, and that I had all these talents instilled into me already. I just had to believe in myself a little more. He couldn't explain why I wasn't getting any callbacks, but he said to trust the process and wait for my timing. It will work out in the end. I ended up moving away from Australia a month or two after that coffee, but I cannot begin to tell you guys how impactful that conversation with Sunil was. Having someone you consider a mentor, someone you look up to, basically slap you straight to believe in yourself. It sounds like some Disney Channel level shit, but trust me, when you're that lost and down in life, having a mentor to put you back on the right track is one of the best wake-up calls you could ever have in life. Moving on from that to my next job, I was lucky enough to have an amazing mentor in my manager as well. So if there's someone you could place your trust in and that you know has your best interest in mind, similar to like a big brother or sister, you are going to learn so much from them and it will 100% accelerate your process to where you want to be. Next point is something I believe everyone should hear, and I hope to God that you believe this. Materialism and social status is not real. In fact, it's dumb. My generation and the generations after have grown up on social media and were exposed to so much bullshit and noise on a daily basis. The biggest mistake you can make is to believe and buy into all this superficial bullshit. Don't get caught up in that. Don't chase that. Money is important for your daily needs and to pay your bills. Outside of that, luxury goods, luxury lifestyles are not necessary. Money or expensive things do not equate to better style or a higher sense of self-worth. Moving back to Asia in my mid-20s, I did have to remind myself of this. From my experience, people are a little more fixated on pseudo-social status symbols here in Asia, and you see people chasing something or striving for something that honestly isn't even that important. Spending on things just to show other people you can, showing off to people who don't actually care about you, doesn't really make a lot of sense when you think about it. If you're in your early 20s and still trying to figure your bank account out, don't get caught up in what society tells you you should care about. Block out all the noise and just focus on you. When it comes to money and your own bank account, always spend within your means. Materialism is dumb. Unless your life revolves around being a socialite or whatever, you don't need to care about all that stuff. So I'm gonna keep this bit short and sweet because it's pretty self-explanatory. There are just 2 points that I want to present for this argument: time and luxury. The most valuable thing in the world is time. R.I.P. Virgil. When you're in your early 20s, it is the best time to experiment with what you want to do in life, because you don't have the same responsibilities as when you get even older. You aren't exposed to that heavy burden of supporting a family, supporting kids, big bills, a down payment on a house. In your early 20s, before you move into an even bigger stage of your life, with way more responsibilities and commitment, you'll have the time to chase your dreams. It may be quite possibly the only time to chase your dreams in your life. So you better take it. Which brings me to my next point: luxury. Oftentimes we take for granted what we have because we're always so focused on looking outwards. What my mentor Sunil told me a long time ago was that not everyone has the luxury or option to chase their dreams. Depending on which part of the world you're born into, which family you're born into, some people have more access to opportunities and finances that others just don't. So if you have the luxury of finances and time to be able to chase your dreams, you better get up off your ass and work for it. And lastly, something that I had to learn the hard way through my 20s, and something I'm probably still trying to learn today, is that everything in life is about timing. Every high and every low in your life is about timing. It's a process and a journey you go through, because that's just life. Good shit happens in your life and so does bad shit. Sometimes there isn't any explanation for all the bad stuff. The same way sometimes we have no explanation to why random good shit happens too. The most important thing is you remember that life is all about timing. Specifically, your timing. If you're facing disappointment about a certain opportunity right now, that's fine. In the grand scheme of things, in the entire journey of your life, that disappointment you're feeling right now is just a stepping stone to get you to the next point in life, and then the next point, and the next after that. I was unemployed for 6 months, rejected for unpaid internships. Did you imagine that? I wasn't even wanted for free labor. It wasn't easy, but I went through that for months. But because I did that, because all those trash doors closed on me, I managed to find my way to the right one and ended up scoring my dream job at the time. All the disappointments and the lowest lows I've ever felt ended up doing me a gigantic favor when I look back on things. If even one of those trash doors said yes to me, I wouldn't have made it to where I am today. Not even close. So just remember guys, if it's not your day today, it's fine. Keep your head up. Everything in life is very much about timing. Just thug that shit out and wait on yours. But with that being said, that's gonna be it for me today guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. It's definitely something different than the usual fashion stuff. Let me know if you guys enjoy videos like this, where we just sit, kick it, and talk about life. I really wanted to make this video before my 30th milestone. Again, I wish I had all this advice when I was younger. Hopefully it ends up helping some of you as well. As always guys, if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, share or comment. It does help me out with the YouTube algorithm. If you enjoyed my content and would like to support me, please hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want more content from me throughout the week, don't forget to check out my Instagram. I'm also on TikTok now, so don't forget to check that out too. And yeah, much love guys. Peace. See you guys again soon.